we start, so please keep your microphone on mute at all the time. Please keep your cameras turned off at all the time. No abusive language will be tolerated. Please do not post any personal information in the chat box. Please save any questions that you have at the end of the presentation and type them in the chat box. An evaluation link will be sent out at the end of the workshop, and we would really appreciate your feedback to ensure better quality of our workshops. Also, we would like to remind that this event is being live streamed on Facebook. So to all the Facebook viewers, welcome to this event. All right. Now, I would like to read a little bit about our presenter today. So our presenter is Tim. Tim is the Managing Director of Enterprise Security for CP Rails. He brings over 40 years of experience in the security industry and is recognized as one of North America's leading enterprise security risk management evangelists. Tim is Secretary Treasurer for the Global Board of Directors of ASIS International and is the global sponsor for enterprise security risk management and digital transformation. Throughout his career, Tim has held executive positions at several organizations, notably as the Acting Chief Security CSO of the City of Calgary, the Chief Information Security Officer for the Government of Alberta, the Director Enterprise Information Security for Suncor Energy Services. Tim was also the owner of Risk Rebels, a global security consulting practice focused on ECRM. Tim was awarded his Masters of Science in Security and Risk Management with merit from the University of Leicester and attained his CISSP, CPP, and CISA security designations. Tim is a sought-after industry spokesperson and writer, having presented as a keynote speaker at a conference across North America on such diverse topics as enterprise security risk management and implementing enterprise security programs. He's also a regular columnist for Canadian Security Magazine and co-hosts a podcast on ECRM called Caffeinated Risk. Tim, thank you so much once again for participating in today's event and for being the speaker today. I would like to pass the floor to you so you can continue with your presentation. Thank you so much.
Just a reminder to everybody, if you have registered by a different name and you're logged in by a different name, if you can please let me know in the chat box what name you registered by, because Tim will be sharing some resources with us, which we will be sharing later. But if I can find your name in the list, we will not be able to share those resources with you. And welcome to the Facebook Live audience. Thank you. Go ahead, Tim. Thank you so much for your time.
Great, thanks everybody, and welcome to everybody here who's online and who's listening to the session this morning. I have a presentation I wanted to go through, but I want to make sure I leave a lot of time for you folks to ask questions or to comment about some of the discussion points. So let me share my screen and see if I can find it for you. Perfect. I hope everyone can see the screen. Great. So again, thanks everyone. I just want to talk a little bit today, if I can, regarding careers in technology and security and what the marketplace looks like here within Calgary. And then I'll spend a little bit of time regarding cybersecurity, since that seems to be near and dear to my heart. A couple of quick things. I just want to talk a little bit about myself, a little more personal stuff about me, some of the things that we look at from a technology perspective in Calgary, and where is technology going in Calgary. And on top of that, I want to talk about some cybersecurity opportunities for those who are interested in this as a career path. I'll talk a little bit about what I look for candidates coming into the security industry, and then open it up for questions and answers. And if you do have questions, so please write them in. I'm sure someone will catch them for me, and we'll do our best to answer all the questions along the way. First up, a little bit about me. Yeah, I've been here. I know that was a long introduction. Thank you for that. That was a lot to go through, but 40 years now. I started in 1981 when I got out of the Royal Canadian Air Force in the reserves. And I started my career as a security guard in a hotel in Winnipeg, Manitoba. It was interesting because that was my first introduction. I was just a young kid, and the first thing I got introduced to was managing all the problems that goes with a hotel in downtown of any city. So that was my introduction to security. But I stuck with it, and I made a career out of it. What I've been able to do is take that experience, grow upon it, learn from it, and I've had the chance and the good grace to be able to work across the globe in my chosen profession in security, but being based in Canada, which is really unique from a security perspective. Yeah, we talked a little bit about what does it mean to be an enterprise security risk management evangelist, and I'll get into that a little bit, but it really means the way that we look at security from my perspective and from where the industry is going is we try to understand what's the risks facing the business, and then can I explain the risk back to the business in language that they understand. For many years as security professionals, we fell to the we fell on this idea that we had to be really technical in our descriptions, and we lost our audience's attention and the ability to reduce risks facing our companies. So we've made changes to that, and it's taken us a lot of years to get here. But I can talk a bit more about that as we get into the questions. And finally, a dog lover. Yeah, that's the two dogs that my wife and I have. That's Piper standing up and Hazel falling asleep on the grass. And they're both rescue dogs that we got from shelters here in the Calgary area. In fact, Hazel, the one who's laying down, she was actually a rescue that I worked with at a shelter. She came in as a dog that was rescued from a dogfighting ring west of the city. And she was supposed to be put down, but then they decided to keep her. And she was never supposed to be around men, never supposed to be around other dogs, and she was always going to be a problem with the potential to hurt somebody. Yeah, she's just a big marshmallow. So I took it upon myself to get to know her. I got a chance to fall in love with her, and then we actually bought a house with a backyard just for the dogs. So I've changed my career in my house just to make sure that our dogs have a good home to live in. Let's take a look. Technology in Calgary. So we're seeing growth in the technology sector, and we've seen it here in Alberta, particularly in Calgary, over these last 10 years. But what I've seen in this last 5 years or so is some real growth in a couple of different industries. Let's go to that slide real quick. It's been amazing to see that in the city of Calgary itself, we have 4 companies that are valued at over $1 billion each. And I just want to make sure I read these so I get these right. So the companies are ShareWorks, which is now part of the Morgan Stanley Wealth Management Group, Enverus Intelligence Research, Parvus Therapeutics, and Benivity. All of these firms have achieved that $1 billion or greater mark for the valuation of their firms, and they're based within the technology realm. So Calgary itself is stepping into this realm of technology and becoming a real player in the North American marketplace. And we're seeing that momentum now from within Calgary, and particularly, well, Alberta, but particularly in Calgary, is that we're seeing that the jobs are being created now from a technology perspective. And you're really seeing the value and the benefits that a career in technology and your position in any organization, if you're supporting through technology, how it helps that organization grow. In my own organization, we're seeing how important technology is to the running of a transportation corporation and something that falls within critical infrastructure. And all the work that we do within information services and within enterprise security helps my organization be successful. In the organizations I've worked in prior to this, the same occurred. We were responsible for enabling the business to achieve its goals and objectives by providing the right technology, making sure that that technology is available when it's required, and that the information inside those systems is accurate and available so that when the business is ready to make a decision, it has data that it can count on to make that business decision to achieve its goals and objectives. So for those of you who are really interested in looking at making a career change or coming into the technology or information sector, you've picked a great time to do it. Throughout the pandemic, we saw a number of organizations change the path of how they run their business and move more towards a remote model. We're seeing that now in Calgary as well. We're seeing how technology can really make the difference between an organization achieving its goals and going far beyond what it planned to do for that year and the years beyond. This is where we're seeing the changes now within Calgary itself. Also, there are some amazing organizations here within the city of Calgary that are helping start small companies and incubator organizations to get technology companies moving, and also seeking out different innovative opportunities for technology. And I can provide those resources to you folks here at Immigrant Services Calgary, so you get a chance to see all the different corporations, or pardon me, all the different startup organizations that can help small businesses as well as companies that are looking for innovation in the Calgary area. Okay, let's go to something that's near and dear to my heart. So as technology grows, so do the opportunities for cybersecurity. In my career space, in my place where I work, we are always looking for new individuals to help us with our team members, and more importantly, so are other companies. These are just a couple of different recent examples from organizations that I worked at, but are looking for individuals today to help out with their information security program. So my recommendation to all of you on the call today, and once you get a chance, and if this is a path that you want to take, I would seriously ask all of you to spend some time online and look at some of the different organizations that you're interested in. And more importantly, then take a look at some of the positions that are being offered in the information technology or information services space. And then if you're really looking for those cybersecurity opportunities, you're going to see those fall within that space as well. And these, as I mentioned, are just two very recent examples of organizations where I previously worked at that are looking for new team members to help increase the skills and the bench strength of their cybersecurity teams. But on top of that, not only do we have opportunities for employment within Calgary for cybersecurity, but we also have opportunities for education within the cybersecurity realm. And these are just two local education, colleges or universities that have developed programs on cybersecurity or information security. And you can now take as a student to increase your skill sets or to gain a better understanding of cybersecurity and what's required to find a career within this space. These are excellent programs. I know the individuals who helped design the course material for them, and I know the instructor teams that are working through each one of these programs and providing the courses back to their students. So these are two courses that I believe are terrific opportunities for people who are learning or want to learn about cybersecurity itself and want to understand more about what does it take to become a cybersecurity professional? What's the path that I have to follow? And what do I need to understand, or what do I need to be really good at to enter this cybersecurity realm? I also have another resource, and this is something that's come upon me just recently, and it's a great book if you get a chance to pick it up, and it's on Amazon, and it's called Because You Can. Right, I'll leave that on the screen, but I'm going to send the link and make sure that you folks have an opportunity to look at this. It's available on Amazon. Your cybersecurity career, a simple and practical handbook for actionable insights for success. So I had a chance to review this, a preview of the book for the three different authors, Ali Khan, Arlene Worsley, and Gaurav Kumar. All of them are instructors in cybersecurity programs here in Canada. And they created this terrific resource where individuals who want to come into the cybersecurity realm and want to understand more about what it takes to do or to become a professional in cybersecurity. How do I enter that space? What courses should I take? What can I expect from a career path? Those are included in this book. It's a terrific resource. And if you get a chance, please pick it up if you can. All right. Here's some other options that you may want to consider as you're doing some research into what does it look like from a technology perspective or from information technology from a cultural perspective? And what can I consider, what can I look at as we see who are some of the tech workers that we have within Canada? So these are great resources that are online available to you. And this is where we see ourselves and compare ourselves to other cultures, right? So within the workingcenter.org has created this great article if you get a chance to. It's the Canadian work values. And it looks at how we consider ourselves compared to other cultures around the globe. And where do we see ourselves from a culture and technology perspective? investcanada.ca, it's a great article again that shows where our place is within the technology space around the world. It's dated because I think, me personally, we've seen our space or our place within technology increase over time across the globe. And then finally, if you get a chance, Brookfield Institute, it created this, who are Canada's tech workers? And it talks about the different personas inside the technical, inside our tech space or our tech world within Canada. I just thought it was a really great article as another resource that you folks can look at when you want to start building your career within information technology and cybersecurity. So I want to step into one more slide, but before I get there, I just wanted to take a couple of minutes and talk about another topic that's really important to me. Is that it's this idea that you as an individual, if you're listening to this webcast today, or if you're looking at taking a change or looking at cyber security or information technology as a career path, I think you're making an excellent decision and an excellent choice. A couple of reasons why. All of us have seen the rise of technology and how important technology is to our day-to-day lives. If you're using an iPhone, have a smartwatch, if you're watching this online, if you access your email, and if your kids play games, if you're watching TV over a wireless network, all of those are based on technology. And technology has become so insidious that we don't even realize or recognize how ingrained it is in our day-to-day lives. Selecting a career path or a choice to come into the information technology space and me particularly coming into that cybersecurity realm, I think that you have such an amazing opportunity ahead of you starting today over the next 10 years or more. A couple of reasons why. We're seeing more and more now the reliance on technologies like machine language or artificial intelligence. We're seeing a greater understanding of how technology can help reduce some of the mundane or common tasks that we would have done 10 years ago. And technology can take that over from us and do it even better than we can. We will never replace the human being in a lot of the work that we do today. But what we can do is we can take the technology that we have available to us. We can take the artificial intelligence engines and machine language. And what we can do is take away the mundane or repetitive tasks that humans would have spent far more time on than they needed to. Let the machines and the artificial intelligence engines do that work for us. And that gives you the time as a technology worker or as a cybersecurity professional to look at far greater tasks or far more valuable tasks within your day-to-day work. So that's just my own personal advertisement on moving in the technology realm, but I see such a huge benefit for all of us to get into this realm and to understand that there's a space for so many more workers. We have such a shortage of cybersecurity professionals across North America. I think the last time that we had a review done of how many people are needed within cybersecurity, we're at the 1 to 2 million mark. We will never recover that valuable numbers of workers without it actually actively going out and recruiting people to join the ranks of cybersecurity professionals. So I hope I'll get off my soapbox now because I want to get into a couple more slides, but I just wanted to throw that in there so everyone has there is an entire career waiting for you here in information technology, and there's a desperate need for folks within the cybersecurity space. So on that, when I'm looking at individuals coming into the cybersecurity realm, so what do I look for? Well, there's a couple of things. Right? And one is you need to be passionate about technology. It makes sense, right? If you're coming into the cybersecurity realm as someone who wants to make this their profession, you really need to have a strong passion about technology itself. It doesn't make sense to come into a realm like technology if you don't appreciate it, understand it, or really want to learn more about it. It makes it really difficult then to become passionate about securing that technology for the organizations that you want to work within. Another one of the things that I look for always is, are you willing to learn? And more importantly, are you willing to fail? And what do I mean by that? Learning is something that we all do. We learn something, or we should learn something new every day. In the cybersecurity realm, we learn something new pretty much every hour because something changes that often within this environment. But more importantly, it also means we need to take the time within our day, within the tasks that we do, to expose ourselves to potential failure. Embrace that idea and then lean into it. So if we do make a mistake, we understand what that mistake was. We step back from the problem once we resolve it. And then we take that mental time to understand, what was that mistake? What can I do better? What can I remember about that mistake? Bring that back to the next task and then move on. Throughout my career, I've seen some phenomenal security professionals who did an amazing job at the work they did, except they didn't embrace or understand this idea that we are going to fail. As human beings, we do that every day. And in fact, I joke about this. I think I've had more failures in my career than successes. But I've grown from each one of those mistakes, each one of those failures. And I've been able to take the learnings from that and the lessons from that and bring it into either my next assignment, my next project, or in some cases, even my next job. Because it's something that human beings do. And it doesn't make sense if we don't embrace that and lean into that idea. So that's one of the things I look for when I'm talking to potential candidates. Also, you should have some knowledge about the area or the company that you're applying for. To me, nothing kills an interview faster than somebody who walks in and has done no homework about the organization that they want to work for. You have an amazing opportunity, if you get a chance to be interviewed by an organization, to show that company that you understand what their business is. So please, if you are looking at moving into opportunities for organizations, take some time and do the research on that organization. Go online and read the annual reports, at least the last couple of years, so you can see where the business is going, and more importantly, what are the goals and objectives that the business is trying to achieve. And if you're looking at a career in cybersecurity, then how can the work that you're doing in the cybersecurity realm enable the business to achieve those goals? So those are things that I look for when I'm interviewing somebody or talking to somebody. Have you done your homework? Do you know the business that you're applying for? Do you know the realm that we work within? Are we public sector or private? Do we trade on the stock exchange, or are we government run? Do we make a profit every year? Are we struggling to make ends meet? Do I have to be regulated under privacy or other types of legislation? Those are all questions that we should have answers for as we start looking at different organizations. Also, wouldn't it be great when you do the research into the organization, you get a chance to see where they want to be in the next 1, 3, and 5 years? And coming into particularly the cybersecurity realm, you have a chance every day to make sure your business can achieve those goals and objectives. Next thing I look for is you need to work as part of a team. Cybersecurity is not done by one individual. I have outside of my door, I have 34 people that work on my team here within my current corporation. In other organizations where I've worked at, I've had upwards to 160 to 200 people working on just cybersecurity. And it's because it's that important of a field within any organization. So you have to be able to work on part of a team. You need to be able to collaborate with team members when you're looking at problems and trying to resolve them. You need to lean on other individuals within your team to ask some questions about things you may not have an answer for and not be afraid to ask for help. And then you need to be able to collaborate when deadlines are due and projects have to be completed. You need to be able to pull together as a team and show that teamwork and that esprit de corps working together to solve that problem. Okay, the next one should be pretty straightforward, but I'm going to say it anyway. Particularly in the cybersecurity space or security in general, you have to be open and honest, right? I will always look for transparency. Nothing can ever go wrong when you have an honest answer, ever. Nor can it go wrong when you're being open about the path that you're taking to solve the problem, or when you're documenting what problem occurred and how did you fix it. Those are two things I absolutely have to see in every member of all the teams that work for me. So you have to be open and you have to be honest. Because in many times, I will ask my team members honest questions about, what do you think about this? Or what do you think about this problem? How could we solve it? And I'm asking people for their honest feedback. So those are things that I look for as a leader when I'm hiring team members onto my group. You got to be able to work hard. This is a tough industry to get into. And when you're in, the challenge is to stay current with the technology, to try to understand the risks that we all face. And more importantly, understand that to get better at the work that we're doing, we have to spend time improving ourselves and learning more about technology, our environment, and our enterprise. All of those things mean that's a willingness to really work hard to get better at the profession that you've chosen and to offer a greater value to the organization. And one of the last skills I look for is, can you clearly communicate your thoughts, either in writing or when you're using communication like this? Because that's where the difference between somebody who's amazing technically, but also understands business and communications. That's where I see the changes in people and people's behaviors over time, is when they learn and understand and apply the principles of really effective communication and how that can bring benefit to you and to your organization. To me, those things are key. So these are the things that I look for. I mean, other than some of the technical skills and some of the background that we look for every job application. But when I'm talking to individuals that want to move into cybersecurity and want to look for positions that I'm leading as a team member, as a vice president, a chief security officer, et cetera, these are the skills that I look for within those candidates. And if you can bring those things to the table, and if you can show those things to me when you're talking to me as me, a leader interviewing somebody, or more importantly, when you're coming on board to a team, that's where you're going to start seeing some of the great success that you can achieve in the cybersecurity realm. Okay. I ended this as quickly as I could because I wanted to open up as much as I can to questions for you folks. So I'm going to let you folks take over the slideshow from here. And let's see if the folks on the session here today or in the podcast have any questions that they want to ask.
Thank you, Tim, for this amazing presentation.
I want to ask a question.
Yeah.
Please, we would appreciate if you raise your hand because we want to give this opportunity to everybody. So anybody else that wants to ask a question, please raise your hand. Go ahead, Mahmood.
Thank you very much, Tim, for a nice presentation. And your name reminds me of one of my friend. Actually, I have been in Kabul, Afghanistan for 2 years. The general manager of Serena Hotel, his name was Tim. So he was a very good friend of mine.
Okay.
So thank you very much for your presentation. Tim, my question is that I have worked in a bank for about 25 years at a senior position. Like I was senior vice president in 4 countries of the world. And I always love to work in this digital side of the banking. But I have never got any qualification particularly with reference to cybersecurity or anything. But I feel myself that having an experience of working in different